My name is Zed, and today we're talking about taxation without representation, a phrase you might be familiar with if you recall your American history. First time we used it here in the United States was as colonies, the British colonies to be specific. We had a king who was way far away, who was charging us taxes, but then making decisions that in no way, shape, or form benefited us. So, our ancestors decided no, that was not acceptable. Instead, what we're going to do is we are going to stand up and revolt. We're going to have a revolution. We are going to start a new nation. We will call ourselves the United States of America. Well, America. And yeah, we had the Revolutionary War. We threw tea into the water. We did all sorts of, and that's all what the story is at this point. But yeah, it was so bad that we had a revolution. Because the idea of someone taking our money and then not representing us is bullshit. And this country, that was not going to happen. We were going to have a government that was by and for the people. We were going to have a taxation system that ensured that the government would continually represent us, the people. And that's how we started. That was the promise given to us, passed down through the generations. Fast forward to now, September 2021. You and I, the citizens of this country, are being taxed without being represented. Our representatives do not represent us. They do not represent our best interests. They do, however, represent the interests of the few American citizens that don't pay any taxes. The corporations. So, corporations don't get taxed and have representation. We do get taxed and we don't have representation. And I get that some people may say, well, that's not really a problem. Those corporations, they pulled themselves up by their bootstraps. Technically, they shouldn't have to pay into this country. It's not like they benefit in any way. Really? So why do you pay taxes? What's the justification for you having to pay taxes? Is it because you are an American? You take advantage of the American system? You're paying to ensure that you have the rights and freedoms and so on and so forth? Yes, that's how it's supposed to go. Just like the corporations, which are people, my friend. They're supposed to pay their fair share. But they do not. And yet, even though on taxation, when it goes, corporations pay nothing, we pay what they should, so we pay more taxes. But when it comes to representation, it's exactly the opposite. We got nothing. They got it all. How did that work? That's because the representatives only represent the corporations. Well, that's not true, sir. It's just the Republicans that represent the corporations. No. The Republican Party is definitely the main mouthpiece of the corporations here in the United States. Absolutely. But the Democrats are also representing those corporations. The difference is that they have to pull a different con. So instead of telling you that we are all pro-business and so on and so forth, they have to say, no. We are pro-business, but we're also pro-rights. So any citizen that's not okay with these corporations having their way with you every time, come to us. Complain to us. Elect us, and we'll go there and we'll fight for you. We'll lose. We are guaranteed to lose. The only reason that I am in this position is to get your hope, your money, your vote, and then take it to Washington so that I can lose on behalf of the corporations. But that way you guys, the citizens, feel as though you do have representation, even though you really don't. They're just playing the game. The Republican side, they just have to convince the people to vote with them. They claim that it's God, it's patriotism, it's so on and so forth. It's your white heritage. That's what you have to vote for. You have to support the corporations that don't want to give you anything to support America. And yeah, they'll they'll generally follow suit. But yeah, I'm tired of it. I'm tired of the fact that we pay so much money to a government that in no way, shape, or form gives a shit about our future, gives a shit about our current situation. So we pay so much of our wages so that politicians can use that money that is paid to them through their wages that we paid to then be like, oh, there's nothing we could do. We just have to let the corporations win. What? Oh no, the police officer that shot one of you guys, one of you citizens, yeah, they're not guilty. We can't prosecute them. But what we will do is we'll give their family a settlement. Because we stole away someone in their life. We definitely did something that was incorrect. But we're not going to pay for it. No. You guys get to pay for it. We're going to take that tax money and we're going to put it into good use for our mistakes. Our mistakes that we made while representing corporations. So they get all the benefits of the United States. We get all the bills. Taxation without representation. So I don't know if there are lawyers out there that are looking for some fucking pro bono work. But if there's someone out there that understands how we can go up against the United States government to say, hey, this is some bullshit, that we're being taxed without being represented, well, I think that would be a very, very successful case. How are we being represented? When it comes to fixing any kind of infrastructure to try and keep this country from falling apart. Now it's a big debate. But as soon as a corporation says like, oh no, I didn't do so well, I need to be bailed out. Lickety fucking split. Well, looky there. Bipartisan does exist. Just not for us. So, I'm not saying that we need to have another revolution. Oh, I guess I'm saying we don't need to have another revolutionary war. There's no reason to pick up a gun. The guns are only going to ensure that we follow suit and do exactly what the government would rather we do. Because now we're being treasonous. Now we are being the aggressive ones. Weird how that works. So no. My advice is to not pick up a weapon. To instead come together with your fellow Americans. To take it with a grain of salt that you may not like every American that's here. But that if you're an American, I can guarantee that I know 3 things about you without ever having met you. 1, you believe that America is your home. It's the place where your family is. It's where your memories are. It's where you want your future to continue. 2, you believe that the rights and freedoms that are guaranteed to you in the Constitution are a good thing. Something that, is worthy of defending, worthy of paying taxes for, so on and so forth. And 3, that you don't want those rights and freedoms to go away. That you don't suddenly want to be stuck with your dick in your hand, or your lady dick in your hand, and be like, oh shit, now I don't have any rights, or freedoms, or protections against the corporate powers that would be, essentially, kings and queens of the modern age. Entities that are so powerful that they control vast amounts of land and property and resources that they claim are their own, that we do not have the rights to. If we want to benefit from what they own, we now have to go work for them. Become peasants, just as we once were. So, picking up a weapon and going to war with a nation that is basically the warring nation, not a smart idea. But us coming together and then demanding that our representatives actually represent us, that they do their fucking job, well, that would put them in the situation, in a position where they would have to make a decision. All of America came together to be like, hey guys, do your fucking job. Now they have They have a choice. Either they can do their fucking job, or they can show their true colors and say, no, bitches, I don't give a shit about you. I don't care. You already are peasants in my mind. So now I'm just going to make that official. You fucked up and put me in the seat of power. That's fine. Now, official decree. You are all peasants. The rights and freedoms that once belonged to the citizens now only belong to the corporations. Oh, now's the time to pick up a weapon. Now's the time that we realize that our representation, our chances of even having a future America, are gone. That now the only way that we get to continue with any sense of freedom, any sense of rights in this world, would be to fight for them. But we're not there yet. We still have a system that is supposed to be for us. All we have to do is call these little... All we have to do is call them out. Do your job or get the fuck out of the way. Then you and I can put some decent representation in those offices. And I don't mean more politicians. No, that's the problem. There's a bunch of people that are already in this subsection of, society that are detached from the rest of us. So there's the Bohemian Grove or whatever the shit it is that's here in California, where a bunch of wealthy people and, the powers that be, the elites, come together in the woods. And there's like a big effigy of an owl. And people say, no, that's some god from an ancient religion, and they're being pagan, and they're... No. I think the owl represents the same thing that an owl would represent for most of us. It's wisdom. The wisdom that they are in control, that they use religion and politics and all these kind of things as a way to manipulate you and I, so that these people can have their way. That's all it is. It's a stupid game of chess. So... And we're not even pawns. We're not pawns. We are the things that are holding the board up. So yeah, we have the ability to shake this game up. But it has to be that we are working together. Because if only 2 or 3 of us that are holding up this board start shaking it up, it's not going to do anything. But if we can get half of us, well, that might disturb the game. If we can get all of us, well, now we can rearrange those pieces. Now we go from the board support to the ones that are making shit happen. And what? Yeah, we can make some mistakes. But the weird thing is I think that we believe that the political office and whatnot is something where you need some kind of talents and skills. No, you don't. You could... Donald Trump was the president. And even though he tried as hard as he could to destroy this nation, it was so resilient it did not happen. Meaning that you and I, normal fuck-ups who don't have the experience, well, the lack of experience that Donald Trump had, we could go be president. We could be congressmen and representatives and blah, 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 blah. Yep. And we would probably do a better job. So we don't need to be distracted by all the bullshit that they're trying to distract us with. We should be distracted by the fucking, what is it called? The filibuster, or we need to be distracted by immigration, or we need to be distracted by the withdrawal from Afghanistan. There's so much. Oh no, did you hear about this girl who's missing? Oh, what? We have to talk about that. Yes, please. Find missing people, obviously. I mean, it is weird the difference between when white people go missing and when non-white people go missing. Whatever. But yeah. They're not going to represent us if we do not demand it of them. As far as I can tell right now, the game is so rigged against us that it's hard for us to come together. We don't control the narrative. We don't control the messaging. But the powers that be do. The wealthy people do. And their whole point is trying to break us up. Break us up. Ensure that we are ready to fight one another so that we're not able to work together because we're too mad. No, fuck that. We need to get over whatever that bullshit is. Realize that we have to come together. We don't have another option. So if you're on one side of the aisle and you think, no, I'm just going to grab my gun and we can make this happen. No, you dumb shit. No. You're outmatched. So you might have a successful battle, but you will not win the war. Worst part is that now the people who are talking about grabbing their guns are already representing the corporate interests. Those who are ready for a civil war are representing the corporate interests. The last civil war, the one where the North and the South fought, and there was slavery or states' rights, depending upon who you talk to, that was a war between corporate interests and a country. The country, again, born of the idea that we don't want to be the peasants to some fucking king, some person that basically owns us and the land, decided, hey, maybe slavery, where we're basically kings who own people and tell them exactly what to do, isn't something that America wants anymore. So we had a vote. Is this what America's going to continue to be? And Americans said, no. We are believers in empathy, in the idea that I don't want to be owned by somebody, so it's not okay for me to own somebody else. What? But some corporate interests down in the South who had large plantations with lots of workforce, just happened to be slavery workforce, decided, no. I'm not okay with that. And I'm in control down here in the South. I control the messaging, the narrative. So now I'm going to send out there, hey, all you poor white people that are all over the South, because I'm the one in control and I made sure that there's a bunch of people that aren't doing well because that's what I do. I ensure that I'm using your skills and paying you the bare fucking minimum. Hey, you guys should be really upset because those horrible wages that I give you, pretty soon those are going to be the same horrible wages that the slaves are going to get. Because you're at the bottom, and if they come from below the bottom to at the bottom, you guys are going to be equal. You should be so mad about that. Lincoln is the problem. He's the one that's telling you you're not worth it. No, dumb fuck. It was the corporations that decided not to pay you anything that said you're not worth it. Just happens to be that they were saying somebody else was worth less. Well, now we decided that human equals human. So now they're worth the same bullshit that you're worth. But those corporate interests, they were deciding, nah. Since we control the messaging and we control the narrative, this is atrocious. They're attacking you religiously. They're attacking your rights. They're attacking your heritage. They're doing all this kind of stuff. We need to go to war. Not me particularly. I'm not going to go fight. Fuck that shit. I'm not trying to get my hands dirty. I'm going to be back here trying to make more fucking money. You peasants, you go fight my war for me. So I just need to put a little investment into making you all riled up. I just need to make sure you don't feel like they're supporting you. Now I'm going to separate myself from the nation that I claim to love. And now I'm going to go to war with that nation. Why? That motherfucking money, baby. And there were a whole bunch of people that fell under that spell. And they started killing their own American brethren. Fortunately, when you're on the side of stupidity, you lose. So the South lost. Now we're coming up on a second civil war, and it's the exact same thing. Black people are asking for rights. They don't want to be treated like shit. Well, we treat everybody like shit. Look at all these white people that are treated like shit. They're happy. Now here are these these black people that are like, well, no, we actually want to get paid what we deserve. No, 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 no. Hey, white people, you should be so mad about that. You need to go attack them. Get so mad at these black people and these liberals who would even ponder or think that there might be a way that we can get equal or just pay. No, no, no. We need to go to war because this is bullshit. You want me to pay $15 an hour? Well, then I'm just going to jack the prices up. Oh, you want me to pay taxes? I'm just going to jack the prices up because I'm a fucking child. I have one fucking goal as a corporation. Get me more. So I'm going to give you the bare minimum, whatever that is. Sometimes I'll even work to make the bare minimum just a little bit less. But I'll ensure that I still get paid fucking super, super well. But the whole point is that I need you to take less so that I can take more. But now these people want to say that they want they want to get pay that's like equal to the work that they do. No, 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 no. We need to go to war. We need to remind Americans that you don't fucking matter. You are peasants. We'll send some brainwashed folks your way. They're going to shoot you because I'm not going to do it again. I'm making money off of this whole situation. So instead I'm going to send some fucking peasants. I'll ensure that I make money off of their ammo, their uniforms, whatever propaganda they're into. Yep. I'll be making money left and right. And then eventually I'll say, well, no, it was those guys. Those fucking peasants are the ones that went to war. I was just trying to be a good business person. I still want to make money after the loss. Because that's the whole point. Just like January 6th. Those weren't Americans that were going to fight for their own rights. Those were Americans who were there for someone else. Which is exactly why once they got inside, they were like, what do we do now? We don't have a leader here to tell us what to do. Because your leader never was going to be there. They only wanted to see if you would succeed. But they had to keep their distance. That way when you ultimately fail, don't know what to do next, and instead take your shit and start writing on the wall like a fucking child, that they can be like, no, no, no. They're not with me. If anything, that was Antifa. That was some other group that I'm telling these people are the worst kind of people. Now I'm saying that that's who they are. They're just pretending to be Trump supporters. Wow. That's a good team you guys joined. God damn. But yeah. None of us are getting represented. Just some of us have been fooled into believing that those who don't represent us are actually representing us. No. Wake up call. Republican, Democrat, Independent, Libertarian, whatever the fuck you are. You do not have good representation. There's a couple good representatives in our government, but they are outnumbered. They are outmatched. They are outgunned. So, again, if there's lawyers that want to take this up, that want to stand there and fight for the American people, you would be better representatives than anybody in an elected office right now. Who cares? Fucking you want to take that money and set up some blah. Okay. Whatever it is that makes these people go through. Yep. We need representation. We do not have it. That is not acceptable. This is America. If I'm going to pay money into a government, that means that government needs to represent me. Not everything I want, but enough of me to know that this still is a representative government. Because right now, it is not. But what are we going to do about it? I don't know. I don't have all the answers. My hope is to bring us together so that we can find the answers together. So join me on Opinionized. Let's figure this shit out.